a growth story as much as it is, to ensure that Alaska has a robust network on the West Coast and in the state of Alaska. Courtney, I don't know if you have much to add there.
Look, there you didn't hear about the Horizon, not because they don't matter or not because they're not killing it, because it's nothing changes
Yeah.
for Horizon. They continue to do what they do. They don't touch Hawaii. Um, uh, you could feed more connecting passengers across the Horizon network, but Brian's absolutely right. Look, they're doing what they do. The 175 has turned out to be a good airplane for the state of Alaska. And it, I mean, look, when you're in the upper left corner of the country, having a relatively long range small aircraft has just worked incredibly well for Alaska. I mean, for a lot of airlines, but specifically for Alaska. So I think the story with Horizon is there's no story. They just keep doing what they're doing. They'll just fine.
Yeah. Switching gears to the JetBlue and Spirit non-merger, right? And I think we've kind of already discussed why it didn't happen. But I think I want to focus a little bit on what's next for these airlines individually, right? What do you think JetBlue needs to do next? And same question for Spirit, although it seems like there's industry consensus that Spirit and Frontier are next to get in line here, right? And just get their businesses together in order to simply just add to the market and survive, right? So yeah, any thoughts on that?
Look, I think on JetBlue, what you've seen there with the management team has been exactly as it should be. I think that they've done a great job, and really, hat tip to Marty, their president, coming back. I think that was a major strategic win for JetBlue to bring him back into the business, bringing over Daniel Schurz, who's an incredible network guy, and really reforming the network around where they have scale and where their brand really carries a premium weight to it. So Boston and New York, and not exclusive to those cities, right? I think I heard an interview that Marty gave recently, and he was talking about their expansion out of Iceland and how they've grown substantially in terms of loyalty, sign up, and way above their expected share relative to their market presence. They positioned their flying, to really position themselves around operating in the Northeast. They've pushed out deliveries on some of their forward order aircraft from Airbus, and are really focused on the core, which is operating a reliable airline with the products people want. And I think you've seen that more recently. They just announced they're going to introduce the equivalent of a domestic first class product. Some of the media has called it mini mint. I know that they've said that it won't be called that, but they're definitely following this premium trend in a lot of ways, mirroring what Alaska has successfully done out of Seattle that we just spoke about. So I think they're making very strategic moves, tactical moves, and really adding the capacity where it's going to help them the most.
I think they missed a branding opportunity. Instead of Mini Mint, they could have branded with Tic Tac.
And it could have been you beat me
Tic-Tac.
to it, Peter. That's it. It's great. I mean, that's for the taking, right? There you go, Marty. We'll make sure he listens to this podcast, and we walk away with Tic Tac glass.
Right? They hand them out, blue Tic Tacs. It would have been a great branding partnership.
That's funny.
That's funny.
So look, I think looking at the future of the two airlines, I think requires looking at where they were leading into the merger talks. Remember, JetBlue didn't start the merger talks. Frontier did. I'm fairly certain. And then JetBlue's like, no, we want it. And Frontier said, no, you don't. We want it. And Spirit said, no, JetBlue, you don't want this. Frontier wants it. And JetBlue's like, well, we'll pay more. And Frontier's like, fine. Okay, fine. We'll pay a little bit more. And JetBlue's like, no, we're going to pay a lot more. And Spirit, to Ted Christie's defense, in his defense, he said, look, I don't think this is going to pass muster with the DOJ, and at some point, and this is probably the fifth time I've said this today, there's a price for everything, and we know what the price for Spirit going with JetBlue was. Now, the idea at the time, and this was across the industry, the comment on JetBlue going after Spirit was, well, if they don't do this, they're stuck. What else are they going to do? Now, at the time, we were like, well, I mean, you could run airline. Like, there's an operation that could be improved and this and that.